Are these plural or singular? I was surprised when I heard 0 is plural, and even 1.00001 is plural. Then, what about following numbers? 1.00, which means the value measured between 0.995 to 1.004, having possibility that it was exactly 1. 2, 0.99999, which is mathematically equal to 1. Also, are others that are mathematically equal to 1 than this, treated completely same as 1? 3, -1. Is this singular? Or negative numbers are generally plural? 4, I equals square root of -1. I know it's weird to count things with imaginary numbers, nonetheless, if you were to count, which form, plural or singular, would you be to use? That's it.
It has less to do with the actual number, and more to do with how the number is said or written. Singular nouns. Anytime the number is 1, or a fraction with 1 in the numerator, the result is singular. This also applies to negatives. C is -1, followed by a singular or plural noun. 1 apple. 1 apple, 1 apple. Half an apple. 1/2 of an apple. 1/2 apple, 1/2 apple or half of an apple. 1/4 apple, 1/4 apple or 1/4 of an apple or 1/4 of an apple. -1 volt, -1 volt, -1 volt. Plural nouns. Any decimal number, including 1.0, is plural. See, should we use plural or singular for a fraction of a mile? 1.0 apples, 1.0 apples, 1.0 apples. 0.5 apples, 0.5 apples, 0.5 apples. Complicated cases. Fractions with numerators larger than 1 can be handled both ways. This also applies to percentages. The plural form is used for countable objects, and the singular form is used for non-countable objects. C is 2/3 plural. 2/3 of the people are here. We are counting people. 2/3 of the soda was left over. We are not counting soda. 75% of the computers are broken. Countable. 75% of the rice was eaten. Not countable. Complex and imaginary numbers. Complex and imaginary numbers only appear in technical contexts. I can only think of examples with units, for example, 5.7 plus 3.1 jk omega at 500 Hz. Dash 1.0 plus 0.9 jmv at 10 kHz. Note that engineers usually use J instead of I to avoid confusion with I, the symbol for current. Mathematicians use I. In technical contexts, quantities for should be written with numerals and units should be written with abbreviations, which do not take plural. So 5V is okay, but 5 volts is only okay in non-technical contexts.
It all depends on how you say it. For example, 1.00 is plural if read as 1.00, but is singular if read as 1. In cases of fractions, English rules are not so concrete. Half a foot could be read as 1/2 of a foot, or 1/2 feet, or 1/2 foot. All three are grammatically correct. It doesn't actually matter on the value of the number, but how the number is being interpreted.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.